Good day. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. Can you believe another week has gone by? It is just so crazy. And we're coming at you live in hot and humid Chicagoland, Wednesday, June 9th. And we have sketchy internet. I have to admit, I hope this works tonight. I'm actually running off my Verizon 5G iPhone because the jetpack is not working, the um, and the Xfinity Wi-Fi is really great for about 2 minutes and then kills out. So big show tonight. Thank you for watching. My name is Scott. Welcome to Go Small, Live Large, our weekly Vanlife RV show, helping you become a better RVer, whether you are no time, still researching, part time, just taking 1, 2, 3 day, week, or month trips, or full timing like me. No medals are given for living in a van, but I've been doing so since 2019 February, and my Winnebago Travato loved every minute of it. Well, not every minute. There's been a few minutes I did love it, I'll be honest. So what we got on the docket tonight? Let me show you. We got a big show and no guests tonight. But I would be super curious where you're watching from. I see some of you are already putting that in here. If you can help me out and just let me know with a thumb up and in the comments that the audio's okay, the video's okay, the lighting. I didn't get my lighting treatment today. But where are you watching from? That's super cool. Look at this person. And I have to apologize. I don't know how to say your name here without really making it sound terrible. So, but India, watching Go Small, Live Large. Can you imagine what van life would be like in India? Holy cow. Yeah, super important to let me know where you're watching from. Where we're coming from today is Chicagoland. And this is my first time in Chicagoland in nearly a year. Actually, just over a year. And there's a picture I was driving through downtown Chicago today. I forgot how massive this city is. And we're coming at you live from a little village where we used to live, population 14,000, 10 miles 10 miles from 10 miles from Chicago. Want to guess how long it took to drive 10 miles today in Chicago traffic? 47 minutes. Couldn't believe it. Don't miss that at all. We are on the move, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you this. I'm going to zoom in here so you can take a look at this. And we are on some serious pattern change here. This is the RV Van Life channel that doesn't take anywhere too often. We're going to change that. Even though they don't perform super well, we're going to make that a new way to roll here. So we've got videos coming up where I've been the last about 6 weeks. We've got Bristol, Tennessee coming up, Louisville coming up, Cincinnati coming up, Elkhart, Indiana, Oswego. I'm going to record that for you this weekend. It's a little village that I've never been to in Chicagoland. And then when I head back to Elkhart in a couple weeks, we're going to go to Shipshewana, I think that's how you say it, India, Amish country. Wait until you see that. I actually saw a traffic jam of horse and buggies in Shipshewana last time I was headed out through there. So we're going to go. Lots of travel videos coming up is the point here. And look at this big channel announcement. Yes, Route 66 is where we're headed once we leave Chicagoland in early July. We're doing Route 66, Chicago to LA. You know the song. This is the route. I am so excited. This has been a bucket list thing for me for a very long time. And boy, I'm going to lean on the channel. I'm leaning on other resources to help find cool places. There's some of the obvious ones, right? The Gemini dude in his helmet holding up the rocket. But we want to find those places and a little off the beaten path. So if you've done the Route 66 before, you've got to flood my Go Small, Live Large viewer recommendation at Gmail. So it's GSLL recommendation, viewer recommendation at GSLL. Oh my God, I'm going too fast. GSLL viewer recommendation at gmail.com. And look at this. I want to share this with you. This is the route plan for the rest of the year. So zoom in close. Take a look at that. We're in the Chicagoland area right now. Going back to Elkhart. Then we're doing Route 66 all the way to LA, and then up to California, up through Oregon, up through Seattle and Spokane, Washington. We're having a channel camp out in northern Idaho, late September, early October. And then down through Idaho, Utah, Nevada, doing the Halloween Escapers event. Then down through Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, a little bit of Mississippi, Tennessee. We're doing a channel camp out the second week in November in Tennessee, Nashville. Super excited about that. And then hitting Alabama. I'm excited about going back to Birmingham, Alabama, because we're going to meet with the Storyteller Overlander folks. Yeah, that's right. And then in through Alabama, then into not Georgia this time, Florida, doing the Gulf Coast, and then Key West, then up to home base, Florida for the holidays. So we got, not kidding, on the move, and we're doing lots of van videos about that. And so I just want to share that with you. This is totally different. I've never done this before. So give a thumb up. Let me know in the comments. Is this something you're interested in? And if you are into van life content, places to go, how the van enables you, and vans in general, not only do I have a whole lot of that coming up, is we've got a lot of van tours coming up. And I am really excited about that. Special guests, we have none this week. Next week, we have June 16th. We got Sunshine State RVs. All they sell is Class Bs. Look at these. Look at these brands. I just talked with Nick this morning, and he is really excited to be on the show next week. We're going to talk about Winnebago, Road Trek, Coachman, American Coach, and then Renegade, which I'm not overly familiar with. So he's going to answer all kinds of questions. Again, all they do is focus on Class B RVs. They don't do the big guys, the A's and the C's. They only do B's. So they're kind of unique in the marketplace. And he's going to give us a tour of a van. We're trying to figure out which one we want to do. So you do not want to miss that if you're in the market for a van. Let me show you what else we have coming up. I mentioned Storyteller. We're working on August for that. And then Coachman themselves, the manufacturer, Nick, whom I met at the Florida Tampa show, is going to be joining us on the 14th. I'm going to meet with him in Elkhart, Indiana next week, but he's going to be on the show on July 14. Am I working overtime to help you folks out? And share this stuff, right? Look at these upcoming events. I'm really excited about these. So on June 15th, I think that's into June 15th, about a week from now, in Rockford, Illinois, Winnebago Motorhomes dealer that I bought Lily from, my van, is going to host a Roundup, 3 p.m. Central. And then on June 26th, we're doing what I'm calling Vans on Madison. And this is going to be a Roundup in the village we used to live in. There's a fantastic diner-style 1950s breakfast place. We're going to meet up at Louis Grill. Vans on Madison. Madison is the street that the Louis Grill is on. And I'm just super, super pumped about that. Join us for one or both of those. That would be just a pleasure. And the best way to get this information is to go to my website, sign up for the email, because we've got those coming out every 2 weeks now. And if you haven't seen this video, we've got the 5 favorite things that make my van life way easier. If you don't have these or things like them, you'll want to entertain those. And of course, we got the viewer question of the week, some RV news headlines. Tonight's RV tip, RV question of the week is about RV storage. I got a good tip for you there, which I'm really excited about. And so it's a pretty big show, even though we don't have any guests. And with that, let's just kind of get into, we've got recommendation, song of the week, and let's just get into your questions. I'm really excited to get into your questions. You got me all by yourselves tonight, so let's do that. And there's a question right at the top of the chart here, and Merry-Go-Round apparently is really eager to get a van in their possession. So if anybody knows of a van for sale in 2018 up to 2020 with a Volta system, so that'd be a GL or a KL. Merry-Go-Round, how would they find you? I guess put your information in here. I can, I guess, be a middleman, but maybe there's a better way to do that. So let us know about Merry-Go-Round's shopping for a van. Congratulations. That's so awesome. So where's everybody watching from? So here's New York. Thank you, upstate. Ron, good to see you, sir. This is Byron, Illinois. That would be a pleasure to have you join us for one of those Illinois, Chicagoland area events. And Louisville, this is fantastic. Lyon, Michigan, not sure where that is, but that is really great to see. Sherry, she joined us at our van MCRV campout this weekend. What a great blast that was, yes? Yeah, indeed. Hot and humid. Yes, summer's arrived in Indiana. It's a little cooler here in Chicago. Merry-Go-Round still in Nevada. And here's Aloha from Doha. Oh, yes, that's Cutter, right? Flagler Beach, good to see you, Rob. Hope you guys made it home okay. And okay, let's get those questions coming in. This is your big chance. You got me all by my little lonesome self tonight. RV systems, RV trip planning, RV, what vans are on the market right now. I'm interviewing a van tomorrow, a van builder that is not one of the big guys, Rover Vans, here in the Chicago area. I've got Mango Vans, we're doing that one. I've got 2 Embassy RV van tours. We got the Rover Vans, and we've got a lot of van tours coming at you too. So again, working overtime for channel growth, so more people can understand what this is all about. Is it for them, and how to do it better, faster. So just thanks again for being along for the ride. Here's Southern California. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry that if let me know if the video is not improving. I wish I had a better option tonight. I'm really sad about this. What I found, if there's 5G in the area, 5G is just not mature. I almost wish I didn't have a 5G phone, because 5G, if there's an LTE overlay, they just compete with each other, and I just had not awesome luck. Wonder what yours might be. So Mission Viejo, California, welcome. I see some questions coming in. Get those coming in. The format we want to use is right here, which is, again, let's know where you're watching from. It's 3 asterisks followed by 3 question marks, and that's how we will want to identify your question. So that helps you find them here quickly in the chat. Mission Viejo. So Greg Chambers has an interesting comment here. Talk Coachman into a G-style floor plan as an improvement on the latest from Winnebago. Really stunned that no other manufacturer has a G-type with a lithium system. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. We talked about at great length at the Embassy RV show camp out this weekend, and I too am really amazed. I think this is just an underrated floor plan for a number of reasons. I think Winnebago took a back step, in my opinion. Now, if you're got a 2022 G or GL on order, you're going to be super excited about it. But I think there's things they could have done better without doing what they did to make it an even better G floor plan. So we'll talk to Nick at Coachman, see what he has to say. I think this is a perfect solo traveler floor plan for sure. And it's interesting. Well, we'll leave it at that. So yeah, we're going to talk to him about that. Just kind of curious what floor plans you find to be most interesting in your search, or whether you have one now. So let's get those questions coming in. We got a couple more here. So Suma says that they are from Chicago but watching in Ohio. I've got a video on Troy, Ohio coming out. Wait until you see that. We spent a couple hours in Troy, Ohio. Anybody been to Troy, Ohio? That's what the beauties of van life. You should take the back roads and discover tiny towns. Are just amazing. Recently rented a Nova 20C. That was the prototype at the Florida RV show, seeing if it's right for me. Yeah, that's really interesting. We are excited that you're renting, because that's a good way to get a feel for a floor plan before you put a whole bunch of money into it. Not cheap to rent, but it is a way to roll if you are trying to find out what floor plan really works best for you. And the Rover folks here in Chicagoland, they actually rent RVs. So we're going to learn a whole lot about Peter's business tomorrow. I'm really excited to bring that to you here post Haze. Look at this, Oceanside, California. Let's see, West Michigan. This is great. Video is good according to Vandemic. Great to see you this recently. RC's in Virginia. Some good questions coming in. Yeah, let's get them coming in. I know you. Some of you are marathon watchers on Kevin 30 to Wake Up when he had a van, bombarding him with all kinds of questions. So place to go, food, waste tanks, freshwater fills. What RV shows are you looking at attending, if there are any? I keep searching and there's not very many out there. So Greg's got a question here. Do you spend time leveling your van when you stop at night? If so, how do you do that? Equipment. Grez, those are great questions. So here's what's the beauty about the van. They don't come with a leveling system that I'm aware of. The bigger B+, C- vans like leisure travel vans and but Regency RV rigs and leisure travel that I mentioned them, Pleasure Way, they're bigger rigs, have self-leveling systems, and it's hydraulic, jacks that come down and press against the the surface below, and they level automatically. Kyle's Regency RV has one. It is kind of a weird experience, and I'm always worried that if they go down, will they come up? But on a van, you don't have that option. So what you do is you look for level surface. And I kind of use my inner ear to kind of feel what the van is like. And if I think I'm in a good spot, once I get there, I take it out of drive, I put it in neutral so the van can kind of bounce forward and backward to find where it feels level. And if it doesn't, I keep kind of jockeying a position a little bit. And that's how I level my van. I visually see where if it's slanting or if it's pointed down or pointed up, and I would probably not choose that spot. But that's how I level. And if the funniest place that I have actually had to level using devices is in my home base, Florida residence house that we haven't been in for months because it's been filled up with Airbnb guests. But I use my Go Treads, which you might find on our viewer recommendation of the week tonight, because Go Treads not only is an traction device to get out of sand, mud, or snow, is that you fold it up in different ways and it kind of stacks on itself, and then you can use that as a leveling device. I just use the blocks, and they just took up a ton of room and did no value besides that. When I need to level, I just found I only level at home base, which is kind of silly because I'd be sitting for a few days or weeks. So great question. Go Treads would be my go-to. Kind of expensive, about $140, comes with a pair, but dual purpose. And I just love having them here. So if I get stuck or somebody else gets stuck, I can help them out. And then if I need to level for whatever reason, I could do that too. So Go Treads would be what I go to. Maybe somebody else has a good suggestion. So Sherry's got a good question here. We talked about route planning at the NSC RV camp out this weekend. I did a RV skill building session, and it was on planning routes. So Sherry wants to know, with your planned route, how far out will you book some of your stays, harvest hosts, boondocking, boondockers welcome, campgrounds, all of these? I'm probably booking out anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks at this point. Probably 2-ish, I would say. Any further out than that, unless there's a penalty, Harvest Host, there's no penalty. Boondockers Welcome, there's no penalty. And by the way, if you're not familiar with those two programs, Harvest Host is a membership. It's about $130 a year to get access to a database of wineries, farms, dairies, museums, golf courses. They're commercial properties. They kind of expect you to buy something. Boondockers Welcome is on private property, either current or former RVers that have extra space. It's really pretty inexpensive, about $40 a year. And I kind of overlay those two to run for about 3 to 5 days. And then I hit a campground or commercial RV park to do tank duty and just stay put for a couple days and chill out. What's interesting is that Harvest Host has acquired Boondockers Welcome. Maybe you did not know that. That just came out in email this week. I hope Harvest Host, they have a fantastic business. I hope they let Boondockers kind of operate independently. They have a fantastic business too. And so I would book out those two, maybe up to 2 weeks in advance, because they are getting harder to get into. Harvest Host, you stay one night, maybe 1 or 2 spaces, so those fill up pretty fast. Boondockers Welcome, you can stay anywhere from 1 to 5 nights in some places. That is really amazing. In fact, I'm taking advantage of that in Oswego, Illinois, staying 3 nights. At no charge. I'm going to probably pay her $15 for 3 nights at $5 to plug in, just because it's hot here and I'm probably not driving a whole lot. So campgrounds, be real careful, especially with state and national parks, because there are big penalties for canceling, and I just want you to be aware of that. So that is what I would do there. And as you saw my route plan, I'm planned out through the end of the year, but that's pretty loosey-goosey how I get there. Other than Route 66, that one's pretty locked in concrete. So great question. Look at this, Chattanooga coming in. Howard, what's up? I love Chattanooga. Oh my gosh, it's such a great town. Bob Scott says he uses a Truma app for leveling. Interesting. I'm not sure how you do that. Educate us, please. I don't know everything, that's for sure. That's why we learn together, we share together, then you decide what's best for you. Howard has 2x6 boards. That's cool if you've got space in your rig, I guess. That's kind of cool. And I've seen those with the bigger rigs. They got jacks and they've got leveling thruster things that come down, and they got wood, and I got all these fancy things. And Ava's saying that Harvest House just changed their cancellation policy. Maybe you can explain that to us. I have not seen that. I'm really honored. Really honor their. Make a reservation, you stick to it, or you cancel it way in advance. Again, these programs are getting so popular, and when I come into a Harvest Host, by example, so I've been a member now since probably January 2019. This is June 2021, so 3+ years. My membership number has 4 digits. The ones I've been seeing written down now have 6 digits, like 100,000. So the program is growing like crazy. So they've tightened up a lot of these policies. So not surprising. Great questions coming in. Oh no, they're saying Harvest Host has a penalty now. Just sent an email about that. I'm behind on email. If you sent me an email, you know that. So they have a penalty now. So yeah, so be aware, read the cancellation policies, and Boondocker's Welcome is still kind of on an honorary basis, although it is a little bit like Airbnb. They rate you on both sides. So as a guest, I rate the host rates me as a guest, and so I'm sure if you start no showing and things like that, you will get dinged either way. So this is an interesting question. So Sly14KT, are you using the campsite reservations or using the website that advertises spaces? Like folks are finding out that spaces aren't available. Not quite sure what you mean. Are you using campsite reservations? So yes, I use KOA a lot, just because I'm familiar with them. They're a little on the expensive side by some people's minds, but they offer really good services. They have a great app. They too have a cancellation policy, and but do I use websites that advertising spaces? I don't use that. I'm not sure which website specifically you're talking about, but there's a couple programs that I use. All Stays is one. It has a smattering of them, of those being all kinds of campsites and commercial RV parks. And yeah, I would say that I've had less trouble with commercial RV parks, less trouble with county parks in terms of availability. But let me tell you that the state, and I haven't even bothered with the national parks at this point, because they're just really hard to get. Wow, there's a weird something. Sorry. If I do like that, that's better. Nope, it's right on my nose. Oh my God, that's funny. Where is that coming from? Sorry about that. If I do like this, does that help? Yeah. They're just really tough to get into. I was trying to actually stay in the Chicagoland area. There's a couple of county parks filled up. You get it one night maybe, then you got to move. Not big deal in a van. Just keep it mindful of state parks. They may make you buy an annual pass, which I learned in Michigan, which is $39. No big deal, but it kind of adds the cost of a night to a 3-night stay. Thank you, Sherry, for this clarification. Harvest Host only penalizes if you don't call and cancel, and they also, and that's a great point. It's just kind of an honor system. It's just be a good citizen. Good heavens, folks, right? And the other thing is, what was I going to say about that is Harvest Host allows you to book online. That's kind of new within the last few months. You can make a reservation online instead of calling. Boondockers Welcome, they've always been able to do it through the app. They have a new app, which is really nice. So that's really great. These people are investing in these programs, which is really, really great. A lot of familiar names in here. So Vandemic, thank you for joining. Appreciate that. Look at this. We've already gone through 25 minutes. Thumb up if you're learning anything at all. Sure appreciate that. We got a nice group of folks tonight. Vandemic wants to know, I think it's a little strange that more B van builders are not gravitating towards 12-volt air conditioners and fuel tank heaters for overall efficiency. Maybe hit up Coachman and others you talk with. Yeah, we're going to talk about innovation in the Class B space with Nick at Coachman. They put out the Beyond. That's on the Ford Transit, and they put out the Nova, which is on the Promaster. I sort of lean toward Promaster because I do not need the height. whereas Transit you do get a few more inches interior, but it is a little curious. That's one thing that makes Embassy RV a little different, a lot different, is they use 12-volt air conditioners and fuel tank from the chassis as heater for air and water, furnace and water. I'm curious to talk with Rover Vans and some of the other smaller, um, uh, smaller volume van builders. Storyteller, I think, runs off the chassis fuel diesel from the Sprinter, which is pretty cool. But for the big guys to make a transition, it just takes a lot of work. They're moving through vans really fast. Wait until you see some of this video I captured as part of the Elkhart tour we'll have coming up shortly. There is literally, I would say, probably close to 50 or more white Promaster vans at a Thor facility. It was like bam, 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 bam. As I was driving by, it was so insane. Good to know they have vans. That's really great. So my Gypsy adventure here. Once I watched a video on another channel, he mentioned Tesla batteries being superior. Just wondering if you know anything about them, and if so, would you be interested in upgrading? I don't think Tesla makes the batteries available to anybody except for themselves. I can tell you that Volta approaches their lithium system from an electric vehicle standpoint. So they're in prismatic foil packets. There's multiple cells in a single module. Those are then put in with an epoxy that holds those things solid. That's similar to the way, my understanding, that Tesla does it. That is not how Battleborn does it. That's not how Lithionics does it. So electric vehicle, automotive grade means something important. And if you were one of the lucky few that joins the Volta factory tour, you got a deep, big dive into what electric vehicle automotive grade looks like. And we are working on some content with Volta on that, rollout within the next few months probably. But just choose your lithium ion system carefully. Do your research there. I think it's the way to go in terms of versus a generator. Does a great job, but the freedom of a lithium ion system, a really quality one, is just so freeing from a standpoint. Maybe somebody could chime in here. I just don't know a lot about Tesla, although they look really cool. And hats off to Elon and team, right? Yeah, Patrick's as shocked as I am. India, how about that? Holy cow! I get it. I get it. Um, uh, yeah, Suma is kind of validating what Sherry said here, which is Harvest hosts penalty for no call, no shows. Yeah, it's just be courteous. It's just just the way we should roll. So let's talk about keep the questions coming in. You got some great questions, but let's talk about Ava had a great question here recently, and so let's give her the due she is credit she's due. And let me zoom in here so you can see this fully. And this is the viewer question of the week. So Ava, thank you again for this. She's thanking me for another great video. Appreciate that a ton. How do you store your photo-related gear? She has a GL, and I'd love to hear how you manage all that equipment. Thanks. And I'm going to answer that in two ways. And I'll put this picture back on so you can see it. Number one, when I started out, I had a voluminous, expensive, big, heavy camera gear. About 6 months in, maybe even 9, I dispensed with all of it. I shipped it all back via FedEx to home base, which FedEx promptly lost. Thankfully, I insured it for $2,000. And what I've been running with since then, literally, is my iPhone, a couple of mics, and a couple of tripods, and a little bit of lighting. Because what I found is that the workflow for me is much easier using an iPhone. The video quality is, for YouTube purposes, I am not doing commercials, is certainly sufficient. And I'm not doing it in 4K because it takes so much, not only bandwidth, but bandwidth up and down. So I'm just doing standard high def. But let me, to your point here specifically, how do I store that? So here is the cubby. It's above the Jensen stereo. You can see that. I love this thing. This is not available in the new 2022 version, but I just love this open space. You can tuck things in there that do not fall out. And then to the right of that is storage above the cab. So let me flip a page and let me make this a little more relevant for you here. And what you're looking at here again is the storage in the cubby, and then I have little cloth bags that I have reclaimed from buying sheets at Walmart. Sheets at Walmart come in a cloth sack, and I have my microphone gear in the red sack, and I have my lighting gear in the gray sack because I reach for those almost every time I'm doing a video. I actually put those where they're really obvious to see. And when I do grab my tripod, what I do is, whoops, is I remove one of the window covers for the back doors. That's what that beige thing is. And then in a larger white bag that another piece of something I purchased came in. So my RV storage tip is coming up here in a second, is I put the tripod in the above cab area, and then the additional kind of electronic hardware and that microphone in particular, you can see there, goes in that white bag, and then stores right behind that beige um, window cover. And my storage tip is this. It's kind of obvious, but it's super important to pay attention to, and that is when you find something that works for you in the van or a small RV, certainly, is you reclaim that storage device. In this case, it was a sack that the sheets came in from Walmart. I saved those because I'm like, those are super useful. I wrap them around a few times and it tucks in there just perfect. Red is for audio, the gray is for the lighting, and then the white is for bigger stuff. And I do the same thing with glass bottles, glass jars, um, tin cans or something that might have a screw-on thing. When I find something that fits, I reuse it over and over and over. Um, if you've seen my situation on my whiskey um, collection at the Embassy RV, they were kind of laughing at me because I saved the bottles over and over. When I'm currently drinking, I put a picture of it on the bottle because the bottle fits in the cabinet perfectly. So that's my hot tip for you from an RV standpoint, storage tip, is when you find something that fits and is useful and is reusable, save it and reuse it again and again. And it kind of goes with food packaging. I should do a video on this because a lot of packaging of food comes in these really huge containers that just don't make any sense in an RV size fridge. So even if it's like a rotisserie chicken, I take all the chicken off the bone, it goes into a Ziploc bag, and I go from this big bubble pack, right, to a literally half of a 1 quart size Ziploc bag, and that's what goes in the fridge, not this ginormous thing. Um, Maybe it's hard-boiled eggs. I don't make hard-boiled eggs in the van. It takes too much water and it's a mess. I've tried it, trust me. So I buy like a Walmart. You get it's like, I don't know, half dozen eggs for a couple bucks. I buy a few of them. I put them in one bag, so I'm not consuming room in the fridge. Even wine boxes. Take it out of the box. The bladder can kind of fit in between with my clothing and stuff. Be careful not to puncture it, of course. But again, the point is when you find something that fits in your rig properly, you use it over and over, and you do that type of a storage tip. And it's been a really big help for me in terms of RV storage. In fact, if you're a Costco member, they have the lean ham that's in this 2-pack. I cut that in half. One goes into the freezer, and the other one I take all the ham out and I put it again in a Ziploc bag because that big bubble pack, not only does it leak once you open it, Ziploc, it fits wherever I want to go, doesn't leak. So again, when you and one of the people at one of the couples at the Embassy RV campout this weekend had a great point: is start practicing RV life when you still don't even have an RV. Practice things like this at home. Practice looking for signs on the road. Little tiny things will shorten your learning curve when you get into your rig. And that's my answer to the question, viewer of the week, is how do I store my gear in 3 separate packets, small and then large, based on how I use those frequently. Hopefully that answers your question. Great viewer question of the week. Thank you for asking that. We love viewer questions of the week. And let's go back to some of your questions here. Let's see. This is a great question here from, whoops, not sure how to say your name. But thanks for joining. Appreciate that. Great question. Harvest Host Bot Boondockers welcome. Yes. Are they going to merge listings of hosts into one app, or still keep separate. My guess is, from what I read, is it's kind of separate for right now, separate but equal. I would assume over time they would probably merge those. It would just make sense. Um, but I don't know. We'll see. They promised they would keep the price the same from the email I read. If you're currently a Boondocker Welcome member, which is fantastic, like $40, race and get your membership now. It is one I'm using it more and more because campgrounds are crowded and getting expensive. We've talked about this. Harvest hosts getting crowded, and they can be expensive. I mean, they expect you to buy a bottle of wine or whatever, which is no big deal for me. But then you're $20. If it's a distillery, it's $30 to $50. So a Boondocker's Welcome is really just free. So this is our good friends Beyond Intention with their cat Benny. Love my 5-figure green. Hey, yeah, what they're talking about is the Volta button. It's your lithium powered nightlight, which can put out some significant light, by the way. Ava, there's, I think, giving me a smile for answering your question. I don't know. Let's see. So Beyond Intention, sir, hide the my mic windscreen. I think they call them dead cats. Yes, it's this little thing right here, right? Um, as a cat lover and a cat dad, former, and will be soon, I'm offended they call these dead cats. You know, how about dead mouse? What's a dead cat? A dead mouse, that's probably a good idea. I don't know. Because you want to kill your cat. Actually, it's a windscreen. So these do a pretty good job acting as a windscreen on microphones. I should do a video about that. Again, my equipment, I did it a long time ago. My equipment's been upgraded a number of times since then. But wonder how that would perform. How many of you are RV YouTuber wannabes? I'd be curious about that. Let me know below. Again, if you're getting anything out, be sure to appreciate a thumb up. That'd be awesome. Comment. Subscribe to the channel. I've got so much coming up, working overtime for you folks. Pandemic was at the Volta, the factory tour, right? Volta has OEM quality, it really has no peers, at least now, and you can see these, you can use these upfitters already. So yeah, it was really a fascinating. We're going to try and get some of that on film. We talked about it. We've got so many ideas. And let's see. Yeah, this is a good idea. So Grez wants to say on my list of road trips, US 1 from Key West to Maine, US 50 coast to coast, lived on US 1 in Fort Lauderdale, and on 50 in Lebanon, Illinois. Route 66 is a classic. It is. I just love Americana, is that how you say it? I love neon. I love mid-century modern. All of that just ties in, and even earlier history, right? So that's the first one we're doing as a planned event. And maybe what I'll do is, this was a great suggestion from a viewer. Let me show you this, and we'll do more about this when we get a little bit closer to launch on this. And I loved his idea, so I'm trying to scroll back to this. So let me show this, and this is what the viewer's recommendation was. Let me pull this off. And that was, this is going to take some serious organization on my part, but let's say you are in an area around Route 66 and you're able to join for a day or two, maybe 3 or 4. So let's say you're rolling out of Pontiac, Illinois, which is about an hour and a half kind of southwest of Chicago. We start the van caravan, the Vanbaree, in Pontiac, Illinois, and you're going to roll with me all the way to, say, St. Louis. That is not a very far drive. It's a couple hundred miles. And we stop along the way, and maybe you cut loose at St. Louis and kind of drive back up north, and I keep rolling. And we do that throughout Route 66. Would that be cool? I really like that idea. So we're going to, a lot of planning to do. I got 3 weeks to get my stuff together, but I loved that idea. And again, there's so much to see and do along that major route, and then off to the sides a little bit. And to roll with some of you van life crazies like me. And even if you don't have your van yet, join along. I think it's a caravan. We did it recently. Where were we coming out of? It was just so much fun to see vans in the rearview mirror. It was so awesome. So that's what we're going to do. So thank you for those route trip tips. And we were doing a whole lot of these going forward, because I owe a lot of you an apology. And I've just been really selfish trying to get views, and what gets views is van tours and black tank stuff, and unfortunately the trip stuff doesn't produce well, but we're going to change that. Hopefully I'll make the cool enough content that people will watch those trip advice, join us for the trips, And it's going to be not just about some sightseeing, it's about how the van enables that sightseeing. So I got a lot in my head to share with you, so stay tuned. It's really got me juiced up a lot. A lot of sleepless nights, and that's okay. Um, Lebanon, Illinois. I'm not sure where that is. I looked that up. This is funny. So Kathy says, my husband's camera gear could fill our whole van. He started using Olympus mirrorless cameras and gear, which is smaller than the huge lenses. Yeah, I spent probably close to $3,000 on camera gear. And you're not kidding, Kathy, because it's huge, heavy. It's a completely different workflow. You got to do work with, the SD cards. And man, just airdropping a file from my phone to my iPad or my Macintosh to start the editing is just so much easier. And it's impressive. I do interviews with people like the Rover Van guy tomorrow, and he's going to be like, "You have an iPhone and a microphone." I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It works really well, and the results are about the same. So the wow factor is not quite there, but still. Um, yeah, my Gypsy. How about this? This talk about a road trip. Nothing to do with RVing, but Jeff Bezos is says he's going to space soon. My question: would you accept a trip into space given the risks? Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm such a space freak. I would love that. I don't have $10 million, which the tickets are going to be, or whatever that crazy number is. I think Jeff's kind of needing to get into the headlines a little bit. Elon's got whipping his butt, right? And excuse me, and he's, excuse me, and needing to be relevant in the space race here. If you're not following what SpaceX is doing with, he's just whipping circles around the United Launch guys, was it Boeing and Lockheed and Blue Horizon, Blue Origin. That's Bezos's deal, right? Uh, which, by the way, is right one of the facilities right outside of the Kennedy Space Center. Which, if you haven't been there, you've got to go if you're into space stuff. So I think that's how he's going to get himself into the headlines. Is be a guinea pig. He's going to go out on a 10-minute up and over, which is cool. I'm really proud of him. The richest guy on the planet is going to get off the planet. I think just anything to get us focused on the future. Let's solve some problems. Let's work together to do that. But anything just focused on the future to me is just an amazing way we should roll. And I just am really, really excited for him. And my hat's off to him. Let's see. Yeah, Beyond Intention. So these folks are really cool cats, and they have a cool cat too. You should have seen Luke and Benny. They hit it off for the first 20 seconds until they realized they were both cats. And then they started hissing at each other. It was so funny. And somehow Luke got into Benny's space up on the Luke shelf. But they say, yes, always repackaging the food. Yeah, so buy ahead and then freeze some and repackage. It's just, in the G floor plan, the refrigerator and freezer are huge, but it's just a best practice. And again, if you find a food container that is that works for you really well, then just reuse it over and over. I might be converting to Hydro Flask. I got this water bottle. I've just have fallen in love with it. I wonder if you folks know about this. And let me show you this. Let me jump off camera really quick. You know that I use paper cups and plates, and I might be converting to this, which is a reusable coffee mug. It sort of fits in my cup holder in the rig, but normally I'm drinking coffee stationary. And what I liked about this thing, not sure that has to do with packaging food, except, this is how we do things, is it has this flip top lid that is really secure. What I like about it is there's no twisty things that get caught and have to take a lot of water to wash. So I'm experimenting with this. I drank coffee out of it today. This is only 12 ounces. I like the 16 ounce. This will fit my AeroPress. And I might be converted to ditching the paper cups, at least, which are pretty expensive. I think you get like 20 cups for $5, or they're pretty expensive, the Chinette ones. But I'll keep you posted on this. Again, didn't like doing dishes because it consumes water, but this one consumes so tiny amounts of water because of the way that the lid is. It just, again, it flips in and out. I'm going to become a Hydro Flask affiliate member, so I'll be doing some stuff on this if I really get convinced that these guys are the way to go. It's compared to Yeti. I'm a Yeti affiliate, but their stuff's really kind of almost over everything, priced and otherwise. These things are pretty reasonable and super tough. I just like the feel in my hand. So more to come on that. Food packaging, liquid packaging, super important in an RV, right? It says shrink everything. Let's see. What we got going here? Yeah, let's talk about the viewer recommendation real quick. We talked about this earlier, and this came up during the Embassy RV camp out this past weekend. And these saved my bacon literally back in probably, geez, what was it, April of 2019. My van got stuck in mud. And I literally, if this guy didn't have a set of these, I probably would still be there today, trying to dig myself out. And when we had our first Embassy RV camp out, um, I helped a guy get unstuck out of the sand. So these are Go Treads. They're made in America by an entrepreneur. He invented this like in 1973 or 79, and he's been selling them since the 90s. It's literally a single man putting these things together on his packaging the thank you kit on his kitchen table. I hope to get him on the show. I can't remember his name, but Pinto is the company, and that's his last name. But get a set of these. I mean, if you are in your van, as I mentioned earlier, these not only double as a traction or as a traction device, but as a leveling device. And they have some orange ones. I really like the orange ones. Unfortunately, I got black, but they are just super important. And our viewer recommendation last week was the LED flares. I'm going to get a set of those. What I'm finding is other people on the side of the road needing help, and I'd love to be somebody that offers some of that help because someday I might need that. Being a good Samaritan, maybe if I put some karma forward, I will never have to call on it myself. But that's our viewer recommendation this week. It's on my website, Go Small, Live Large. Taps off to Amazon. I make a few bucks for that. Thank you. Cost you nothing more to buy that through Go Small, Live Large, our store there. And I would highly recommend those. And the safety kit. We'll be getting some of those too. So let's see what else we got. Some Stormy's. Let's see. A dead mouse. That's funny. Merry-go-round for dead mouse. Yeah, let's call it dead mouse, not dead cat. Dead cats are. I got Luke cremated on my dash, so let's call him dead mice. I have to stitch a few of them together. Anyway, so here's Gypsy's trying to be a YouTuber wannabe, posted 2 videos, and it's like, yeah, it's a learning curve, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of fun, and you can influence a lot of people, help people out, but it's not for the faint of heart. And your gear, literally just use your iPhone. That's what I would recommend, or smartphone that's good quality. Here's an Lisa, X-Class beer wannabe again in a few years. That would be awesome. Let's see. So Stormy is saying, love the Route 66 caravan. Sounds perfect. Yeah, so we'll try and create some segments that are probably maybe 100 miles, maybe 150, maybe even 50 miles. So if you're in the area, you can go point to point and turn back and go home without trouble. But it's going to take a lot of organization here. Grez is really excited about it too. Caravan, yeah, right. I love the spelling of that. Vanlife or campouts. We may do that on an overnight basis if we can find harvest hosts or if somebody's got some land we can use, or maybe just crowd a Cracker Barrel parking lot for the night or something. But it's going to be a tremendous amount of fun, and it would just be so fun to caravan together, wouldn't it? Hey, Tom, welcome. Good to see you. Glad you made it back to Wisconsin. That is so awesome. Kathy, there's lots of room on YouTube for everybody. No doubt about it. Let's see. Tom's got a good question here on. There it is. Do you subscribe to any road services like AAA for emergencies, travel planning discounts? I don't. Through Progressive Insurance, the van is covered with roadside assistance pretty thoroughly from the towing perspective. So roadside assistance is available through that. I also, I think, have it through CoachNet, which probably is expired by now because every Winnebago Travato owner gets a 1 year roadside assistance, I think, through CoachNet. I'm a little out of the pocket on that because it's been so long since I've launched my program back in of October 2018 is when we took delivery of the van. So that'd be a good video to do some. Travel planning, I've just found doing my own is easier. Back in the old days, AAA, you'd call them up and they'd send you paper maps and books and all kinds of cool things. But there's digital devices today. Thomas, I think you were at the Embassy RV event this weekend, and I talked about those tools, and we'll probably put some of that into a video format because I think it helps people out to understand how to use those tools more readily. And where'd you go? Right here. And discounts. Yeah, I don't have any discount programs. Maybe the Passport America RV program does a pretty good job. You get half off the first 2 nights on non-in-season RV parks, commercial parks. Those are kind of cool. And you can actually create a route plan using those commercial RV parks through that. So that's what I do, which is not much there, to be honest with you. I've been so lucky. 71,000 miles. I just had my oil change today. 71,400 miles, and I have not had a single breakdown in this vehicle. And I've been living in it since February 2019. It's so incredible. Never been stranded. No flat tires. Let's hope that continues. Let's see. Marlena, I know you told me how to say your last name. Ms. Lee, and I don't want to butcher that. So love your Hydro Flask. Yeah, I'm super impressed with these. And I'm seeing a couple of them now. So watch for more on that. I'm really excited about my Hydro Flask. It's kind of interesting. So this is kind of fun. So they shop at Sam's Club, and oh, he likes the coffee mug idea. Yeah, you're the coffee guy. So it was super important to make sure my AeroPress fit on top. And you can buy bulk. I buy bulk at Costco, and I just kind of divvy it up. Some goes in the freezer. If it's stuff to go in a dry storage, then I do that as well. So that's just kind of how you roll there. Let's see what else we got coming up. Looking off. Let me mention this again. This was our song of the week last week. And whoops, get my attention off here. There we go. Because I can't get the song out of my head. I've almost got the words memorized. If you haven't, I've actually put this in the resources down below in the show notes tonight. And if you haven't listened to this song yet, do Jason a favor. And I'm going to be contacting him to see if he'll be a guest on the What's Up Wednesday show. He's a cool cat. They are literally living in a storyteller. And during COVID, they roamed around doing neighborhood block parties and birthdays and concerts in backyards to make a few bucks. And they powered the whole thing off of their Volta system in their van. And he wrote and recorded a super cool song called Campervan. And it gets in your blood. It's a little bit like the Route 66 song. So please do Jason a favor. And me a favor, and check his song out. Use your favorite music service, and bring that thing up tonight. Listen to it, like it, share it. It would just be a tremendous help for him to get this song recognized properly as it should be, especially in the van life community. This should be our theme song, and please go to your music source tonight and listen to that song. And again, share that out. And I need more suggestions. So go to the email address here. Let me make this big for you. So it's gslviewerrecommendation@gmail.com. Super important. We want pet picks of the week. We want songs of the week. We want viewer recommendation of the week. It's super important to get what you're learning on the road. And there's been a few in here just this evening, but it's hard to pick out of these comments. So do me a favor, go to that email address and share that with me so it can be shared out to everybody else looking probably for a similar solution. But listen to Campervan song tonight. I think you really, really will like it. And that kind of brings us to our pet pick of the week. And look at this little cutie pie. This is Buttercup. It's so great. Buttercup. 10-year-old Beagle Heeler. Sandy F., thank you for sending that in. Get those pet pics. I know a lot of you have pet pics. I met a lot of them this weekend at the Embassy RV campout. Buttercup, what an adorable dog. So get those coming in. Got a few more minutes left. And let's say, so Vandemic is recommending here, AAA RV Plus is a must-have, about $90 annual. Let's see, dollars. Maybe I'll do some checking that out. So maybe that'll be the viewer recommendation of the week this week. So Vandemic, if you can shoot me an email at that email address, gslviewerrecommendation viewerrecommendation@gmail.com. That will prod me to look that up. Maybe that'll be the viewer recommendation for the weekend. Thanks again for the LED flares. I'm excited to get mine. I'm going to have mine shipped to an Amazon locker while I'm in the Chicagoland area. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Arkansas Tracy, good to hear from you. I have had this hanging on my wall for probably what? Let's talk about this thing right here. Probably for 5 months, maybe. I bought it in Montana. It's been maybe a year. Nobody's ever asked about that. I am glad you did. You know what that is? It's actually bear spray. I have 2 cans of bear spray. I got it at Costco. I think it was in Montana. I put it here so I can grab it quick. The other one, I was just thinking about that today, is I need to put it in a better place because it's in the back under the bed, and that would be hard to get. I'm not worried about bears. I'm worried about crazies, and I actually might find a way to practice on one because I don't want to pull the trigger on that thing for the first time, not knowing what the hell it does. So we actually might make a bear spray video. I'm gonna have to have some help on that. But it was not overly expensive. It was $40 for 2 cans, I think it was, and they're not available everywhere. And I'm sure it's outlawed some places, but that's my weapon of choice, other than driving away fast, honking the horn, and dialing 911 in case there's a real serious issue. But that's what that is. Thank you for bringing that up. Great to talk to you today, sir. Tracy's great. He was at our Nashville Vanbaree back last November. Just a cool cat, and he's really built out his van lately. Tracy, we need to hook up and get your van on video if you're open to that, sir, because you've done an amazing job on the short Promaster chassis. Yay, Sherry, I know. They have, so clearly the cups and all that business, they have plates and bowls, and they look super cool. And they have silverware sets also. I've been experimenting, kind of washing my plastic stuff, disposable, which are not plastic, it's biodegradable, compostable things, really expensive, love them. I'm kind of experimenting. My concern about the plates and bowls is, will they go in the microwave? I'm guessing not. If I have a question into them, it would kind of seem silly to use a paper plate to cook it and then eat it on a metal plate. I don't know, but I think at least for these 2 things, I used to use my sport bottle. I just like the feel of my hand better with this thing. Just curious if you know anything about Hydro Flask. And this might be a game changer. I might have actually switched the first time using it today. So thank you, Sherry. You are just the most amazing lady. If you are curious about the Embassy RV, our partnership, we talk a lot about them. We're going to do videos together next week. We got 2 van tours coming up very soon. There's a Facebook page. Sherry, if you want to put that in the comments below, that's kind of an Embassy RV owners and wannabes group, a little bit like the Travato thing. And let's see. So yeah, if you could post that down for everybody, that'd be great. So Kathy's saying she bought a full set of the plates and bowls the same day as the Travato purchase. Wish I would have washed her food first. Now I switched to sturdy paper. Dishwashing is no fun in the van. Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's nothing more easy and satisfying than just folding up that paper plate and it goes in the thing. But the paper plates I've been using lately, have you actually shopped for paper goods lately? They are really expensive. And they are, the Walmart ones I'm using, man, if there's any wetness to it at all, it takes 2 of them. So I need to figure out the cooking thing. And then if you wipe the plate and rinse it really fast, I have soap on my sponge. So I'm perfecting this. I'm a green guy, but I'm not, rabid about it. But if it's a better experience for me and it will pay for itself in no time at all, because paper goods are super expensive. I just don't know what's happened. It didn't used to be that way. Yeah, I think I've read this too. Pandemic said they got $3 billion contract for a moon lander. I'm just so proud of Elon. So we are just at the top of the hour. Let me see if there's any good questions here. I always miss a few of your questions. So come in earlier with those questions. We always seem to run out of time before we run out of questions. Let's see if there's any in here that I can answer quick. We go a little over. And let's see. The other thing I thought about doing lately is doing an ad hoc Bloody Mary Sunday morning. I need to come up with a crazy name. Just kind of ad hoc. We had Bloody Marys at the Embassy RV camp out, and on the boat, Terry, vice president of embassy, drove us around in his boat. We had Bloody Marys. It was so much fun. So much fun. Can't wait for you to be there with us next time. And maybe just take a bike ride in our sippy cups. I don't know. Sippy cups, Bloody Marys in Nashville because there's no boats that I'm aware of. Let's see. Yeah, I've got a video coming up on this. So RB, can't get your name quite right. There seem to be a lot of not good, reliable solutions, mostly are 4G. Currently testing T-Mobile's 100 gigabyte 5G hotspot. The 5G speeds are great and still get 4G. Yeah, there's unfortunately the unlimited is being the key thing here. The video you're going to see is that data consumption on the road is real and it is humongous. There are days, I'm going to actually show this to you in real time. There are days I use 30 gigabytes in a day. And 100 gigabytes, if I'm doing that kind of consumption, is 3 days worth. So I am so lucky to have an unlimited plan that I still have from January 2019 that works. You'll see that I've upgraded my hardware. I'm running off my iPhone because Verizon is failing me on my jetpack tonight. But the 30 gigabytes for a hotspot, this show is probably going to consume 3 gigabytes on that. So it just continues to be a challenge. The good news is that things are really opening up with everybody being, well, a lot of folks being vaccinated. You can go in and sit now and just do a lot of work that way. So yeah, not a lot of great answers there. Thanks for that question and thing. Yeah, that might actually be a great viral video, right? What can we spray that's annoying? I don't want to hurt anything. Bugs? How about cicadas? Bear spray on cicadas. Do we need to kill bugs? Do we need to kill anything? I think just measure and get a target out there, right? Maybe I get a bear target. That would be a fun video. I just need land to do it on, and a still no wind day or a wind that's blowing down so we don't get it on us. I don't want to be the guinea pig on what that feels like. Maybe we can find somebody in the emergency medical EMR, like a paramedic, to be there in case it doesn't go well. They can be off to the side in case I get a big shot in the face. That would never been tear gassed. I was actually in a tear gas environment in Seattle way back in the WTO was creating riots in downtown Seattle, and being even in an environment with tear gas is not cool at all. I don't want to relive that. It's just the clouds, kind of drifting through downtown Seattle. I'll never forget that crazy time. All right, so let's see. Oh, no way, Sean, Kelly, Ship Shawana. So I mentioned we're going to be doing that. So I'm actually planning that right now. I'm staying this Amish RV park type thing coming up next weekend. And if you have any tips, I'm using this as my baseline, and I am so excited to learn and share the Amish lifestyle. Watching those commuters doing horse-drawn buggies, commuting to church, traffic jams of buggies. I couldn't believe it. That's what they look like, literally, except they're in black drawn thing. So, Sean, please, if you can reach out to the GSLL viewer recommendation email and drop me an email, sir, and let's communicate. Let's find out what is there that needs to be shared with the crowd. There's all kinds of things in here. I'm only doing a couple days. It's going to be a short video as they need to be. But if you literally live in that area, we have got to connect. And maybe and we need to connect. So please reach out to me, gsllviewerrecommendation@gmail.com. And James here, and thank you for that. James here has a great point. Never thought about that. Paper plates are made from wood pulp. Wood pulp is going out of sight. Wood in general is crazy. So maybe that's why. So maybe it's a good lesson. It's funny how Mother Nature works, and we adjust our situations based on what we're trying to do. Okay, merry-go-round. That's a good point. Merry-go-round's got a good tip on what we should put the bear spray on. Wasps. Yeah, what if we get a big bee? Not honeybees. No. But a big old wasp's nest. That would be awesome. Or a big red anthill. That would be awesome. What if that stuff is flammable? Maybe we'll get a little torch and I don't know. Could be fun. Anyway, that's it. We're going to, I think, wrap. Let's see. Is there anything else left? Yeah, next week is June 16. Please join us. This is going to be a really big deal. He's a full-fledged YouTuber himself. The videos he's done with the Stranger Palooza, Hank, Hank Stranger, I think is his last name. The African American guy spinning up a YouTube channel. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. He does things really funny. Really, he's worked with Nick, and his van tours are exploding, like getting 50,000 views. I'm so jealous. I'm very proud of him. So check his. Join us next week, and Nick is going to bring us through some of the vans and talk Class B RVs only. A whole bunch of questions. So with that, we'll say thank you. I need to get out of this parking spot I'm in. I'm getting looked at, and great show tonight. Thank you for everybody for watching, for commenting. Great questions, and we will see you soon on the road or on the small screen. Until then, wish you to journey on. See you soon.